Well, there's only 10 days until Halloween, so of course it's time to start talking about Christmas movies. If my years of working out of Michael's taught me anything, it's that this holiday is done by September. Time to get the Christmas supplies out. Hey everyone, it's me, Aaron.
I'm Michelle.
And this is the last day in our horror comedy week. Oh, this is a weird one to go out on because you didn't see most of this film. You joined me for the last half hour of this film. And after it was over with, you said, was that really a horror comedy? Because the last half hour of this film is dark, but up until that moment, like literally up until about 5 minutes before you joined me, yeah, it was a comedy, I guess. Kind of. It's sort of.
I tend to walk in when the movie suddenly shifts.
Same thing happened with Dracula.
Yeah, as soon as I come in, the mood of the movie shifts. So I was like, I don't know, maybe it's just me.
If the movie's not good, I have to bring you in. You're my ringer for bad films. All bad movies are just Michigan J. Frog to me. Like, honey, you have to see how bad this is. And then you come in and suddenly it's Lawrence of Arabia. We're reviewing Anna and the Apocalypse today, which is a film that came out last year, I believe, that I really wanted to see because it was a zombie coming-of-age musical. And I thought that just sounds like a brilliantly creative thing that I really want to see, and I did not get a chance to watch it. So, you know what? It's horror comedy week. I heard this thing was definitely a comedy. I mean, it's a zombie musical. It has to be a comedy in there. And then you watch it, and yes, it's got funny stuff in here, but it's more of a quirky comedy. It's more of a quirky horror film.
And it's like, I don't know. It's like, do you remember when there was a musical episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
Oh my God, that's totally what this feels like.
Yes.
Wow, exactly. Because it's weird. None of the songs in here are funny. And you feel like, well, if it's a comedy, then some of the songs have to be funny. No, all the songs are played 100% straight.
Yeah, this is a comedy horror week, so when you said you were gonna watch Anna and the Apocalypse and it's a musical, I thought there'd be people breaking out into big musical dance numbers or something, or
This entire film, okay, so what this is about is that it is a girl who, she is about to graduate from high school and her dad wants her to go off to college. However, she wants to go out there and explore the world, and this is all coming just a few days before Christmas. The school is putting on a big Christmas pageant. But then the zombie apocalypse happens, and it's Anna having to gather together her friends, having to make their way back to the school because her dad is the janitor there, so she has to get there and get her dad out, and then escape to freedom. Bibbidi bobbidi boom, there. It's a zombie film, you know what to expect, except it is a musical. And this is one thing that I do have to say about this film right now. The songs are actually really good.
They are.
The songs are actually this honestly made me think of Sing Street from 2 years ago, which was one of my favorite films of the year from 2017 or 2016, whenever it came out. Sing Street, for anybody who hasn't seen it, it's one of my favorite coming-of-age films, and it's one of my favorite musicals. It is a great film about just some kids forming a band in Ireland. And
strangely enough, this takes place in
Scotland.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's okay, wow. So in Ireland, you just make a musical by forming a band. But in Scotland, oh, they're even harder. If you want to make a musical, a lot of people have to die in order for that to be justified. I didn't know this was set in Scotland, which that was a big shock to me. And this isn't like Glasgow or anything. This is a little tiny town on the bay. So yeah, this is definitely, Glasgow is that Scotland? It's not like this is Edinburgh. Man, I am doing my ancestors proud today. So that's going to be what I get haunted by on Halloween. All my Scotch-Irish ancestors coming over, pissed that I don't know which city is in which part of the United Kingdoms. Actually, I think that if my Scotch-Irish ancestors came and haunted me on Halloween, and I showed them what's going on in the United Kingdoms right now, they'd be way more pissed about that. Anywho, getting off of that topic, onto this film. Yeah, there's not a lot to say about the plot in this thing. And a lot of the characters in here, they're kind of basic. There's one kid in there who he really wants to be a filmmaker, but the teacher was looking at what he made and said, yeah, this was about to say something about yourself, and you're not really saying anything about yourself. So he's kind of not all there yet. He hasn't quite found himself. But that doesn't really get fleshed out all that much in this film. And then Anna's friend, she really wants to make this Christmas pageant great, and she kind of wants to be a singer, maybe. I mean, she's got the big number in the musical number, but you don't really know anything about her other than she loves her boyfriend, who is the filmmaker. And then there's this one kid who is the bully, but he's gone for a large portion of the film. But then when he comes back, he's with them for the rest of the film. But then you do get some depth on him, but there's a lot of depth there towards the end. Like, there was a revelation that is made about him and Anna in the last half hour of this film. That went, did I black out and they didn't talk about this before that? Like, there's a small mention of something, but then they drop like a bombshell towards the end of this thing that's just, oh, well, that feels like that should have come up earlier in this movie.
I just want to, like, get something off my chest, like, there are, like, so many movies where, like, high school or middle schools have, like, winter pageants or Christmas pageants. Like, I never had that when I went to school. We just had Christmas vacation and nothing. So, I don't know. Is that, like, more common than I thought? Or?
I might have done something. I didn't do anything like that in high school, but I might have done, like, middle school or something. I do remember we did put on one play for Christmas, but that was for the drama club, so it was like something we had been rehearsing for. That was like our final project of the year, so I don't think that really counts. That was kind of weird. But yeah, as I was mentioning about these characters, you don't quite really get enough of any of them. They're all kind of blank slates, but not enough of, but they do have something. So I can't like go, they're full blank slates. No, they've got something. They've got identifiable
things about
them.
It's like one-dimensional character, I guess?
No, one-dimensional is like nothing. They're like two-dimensional. They've got like, there's something to them, but not really like...
Something, but not enough.
Not enough, yeah, exactly. Especially Anna herself. Anna's whole thing is that after high school, she wants to go and travel the world. But you don't really get like a lot of backstory on why she wants to do that. You don't really get a lot of her history with anyone else. She's the protagonist, and she has basic protagonist personality, which is, kind of like, that's it. Like, her personality is kind of meant to be, you, the audience at home, fill in what you want her personality to be so you can see yourself in her. Mm-hmm. Yeah, which... That's something that lots of films do. I'm not really going to wag my finger at this film in particular about that, but, you don't get enough of her specifically. And considering that this is Anna and the Apocalypse, I really wish Anna had been a more dynamic character. Mm-hmm. And also, this film, it's kind of, I don't want to say cheap, because that implies that, like, they didn't really do anything with their budget, but it definitely did not have a budget. But they did do stuff with it.
They did what they could with the budget they had.
Exactly. They did what they could with what they had. I'll give them that. They totally did what they could with what they had. However, that honestly kind of works in its favor. Because since this all stars high school students, and since this is all about them putting on a high school play, at least at the beginning of this entire film, because it's so cheap, and because, honestly, like, the choreography is not all that good. Like, you expect big musical numbers of, like, everybody moving and dancing around. No, there's really none of that. I mean, there's a musical number. I rewound after you came in and showed you a couple of the musical numbers, but there's one in here that you didn't get to see where it's them in the cafeteria, and they're moving around a little bit. There's some stuff going on, but not really like a big, yes. It's more like, well, you did something in there. It's all right. And then, like, the first opening musical number, which is an amazing song. It's a great song. I love the first song in here. But it's literally just everybody walking to class. It's not like anybody's dancing behind them. It's not like they're maneuvering around people in it.
Yeah.
They're just walking. Doing that. All right, that's fine. But because everything isn't really done at big professional levels, and nothing looks like it's a big professional level of production in here, it kind of has that feel of a high school play. Mm-hmm. It kind of has a feel of, they're trying to put on a high school play in here. One of the kids in here is a filmmaker. This kind of feels like if the high school filmmaker paired up with the high school drama department and they put on a zombie musical. And because those are elements within the movie itself, the kind of cheap budget of this actually works. It actually kind of adds to a charm in this film.
I guess so, but it's like at the same time, whenever they sing, there's like they put a lot of like effort into like making the music sound great, the singing sound
music's
great.
Really good in this, yes.
And it's like because the singing and the music is so great, and everything else is just like
there are moments in here where someone is belting out a great song, and I kind of just stopped watching the screen because what was happening on screen was not interesting enough to match the song.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's one that you missed, but it was when the bully shows back up. He was singing about what a great zombie killer he is, and it's a really good song. It was actually really darn fun, and he's doing a great job singing it. But he's not really doing anything great during the actual number itself. I mean, yeah, he's killing some zombies, and his bully friends are killing some zombies in there. But, not in like a big, like cinematic way, not in a way that makes you go, ooh, look at the choreography on this.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's choreographed. They're definitely hitting their marks. They're definitely at the place they need to be at this moment, but it's not like anybody like dancing around zombies and killing them. It's not like anything like that. They're just kind of marching around, just like hitting a zombie. And, it's fine. Yeah, there are moments where it does add to the charm for me, but there are other moments where I kind of just did tune out a little. I totally agree with you on that. However, this film, it does actually have some good jokey moments in here. Like one of my favorites is when it's the day that the zombie apocalypse has happened, and Anna goes outside for the first time, and she doesn't notice him, and she's just singing a song, and then it cuts to her friend, who is wearing this beautifully tacky Christmas sweater with lights on and everything, and he's walking downtown, and they're both singing this song.
Yeah, and they have like earbuds in, so that's why
So they're ignoring all the death and destruction around them. That is probably the best musical number in this entire thing. But it still kind of reminded me of other zombie films where they tried to do stuff like this, where they did the day of, and you're seeing all this stuff like Shaun of the Dead, that gorgeous sequence, that gorgeous one long shot, which I think is one of the best shots in any zombie film ever, of Shaun waking up and he just repeats his daily routine of walking over to the corner store to get himself a drink and then walking back, and it's just that one long shot. That is gorgeous. Or the Dawn of the Dead remake, when she wakes up and everything's just in pure chaos. There's so many great the day of the zombie outbreak sequences. This one is, again, for what they had, it is just fine. And the song is really good. But you can't help but compare it in your mind to other things that have done similar things. And yeah, they've all done them better than this. But it's still, like, I gotta give them credit for trying on this. And that is the saving grace of this entire film. That is, to me, the thing that absolutely makes this film worth watching. I'm not going to come in here and say that it's great, but it is worth watching. It's that this is a film that feels like everyone who worked on it cared. This is a film that feels like everybody who was on it, they tried as hard as they could. It feels earnest. Mm-hmm. It feels like, oh my goodness, is that why Jim Varney's character was called Ernest? Oh my goodness, it just hit me. Because that was the other thing that we were thinking about watching was Ernest Scared Stupid. But I've seen Ernest Scared Stupid.
And so have I.
I've not seen this, and I had always kind of been wanting to see this. Which, in retrospect, I kind of wish I had seen Ernest Scared Stupid again. Because I haven't seen it since I was a kid, so I kind of want to know what I think of it as an adult.
Although next week is viewer request week, so if you get enough requests for Ernest Scared Stupid...
Totally up to you guys. What was I saying? Yes, but this film, it does feel like, oh my goodness, everyone in here is trying. And I gotta give you all a ton of credit for that. You guys, you know what? You're giving it your A game. You are putting on, you're putting on your game face. I just said the exact same thing twice. But really, everyone in here is doing their best. And you know something? When you see a film where everyone's actually trying, it does have its charm. It does have that thing that makes you want to keep watching it. And as I said, so that and the music itself, that's what kept me going throughout this film. However, as we mentioned, when you came in...
Yes.
You came in, throughout this entire film, it felt kind of like one of those movies where, it's kind of like Zombieland. It's just quirky. No one's gonna die in it, though, which, no spoilers for Zombieland 2. We're watching that one next week. We're watching that one for the final week of Thorgiween. We tend to, in the final week of Thorgiween, in those last little days that don't fit into an official week, we just watch whatever horror films came out in theaters that week, so we will be watching Zombieland 2.
And, I don't know, I still want to see the Addams Family.
Addams Family is the other one, yes. We'll be definitely watching both those.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is one of those films where it just has that feeling like, yeah, everybody's gonna be fine because it's just this quirky comedy. That's all that it is. But then the first person dies, and they die in like a moment where you did not see it coming. I mean, you weren't there for it. You came in like 5 minutes after this, but I was looking left, and then they came in from the right, which made sense to you guys. To us, it was reversed. Yeah, it was one of those scenes in which they're like, yeah, everything is fine right now. Nope. And they were a major character in this. They were one of those people that if you were going to put money on this film and say, who in here lives aside from Anna, because she's the protagonist, who in here is going to live? You know, that guy. Obviously they are going to live. Whew. Nope. And then more characters die, and more characters die, and more, and man, the entire last half hour of this film is so dark. Mm-hmm. It is uncomfortably dark compared to how charming the first part of this is. Which, don't get me wrong, that's kind of what puts the horror into this part of the film. This film actually does the big dramatic, no, characters are dying, better than almost any other zombie film out there, because you spent an hour in this film feeling like they were safe, feeling like everything was hunky-dory.
And then, like, the song at the end, like, there's no such thing as a Hollywood ending.
Oh, that was actually a song from the beginning of this movie.
I figured it was, but it's a reprise.
Yes, it was a reprise. And man, when that comes in at the end, in the beginning of this, it was like, oh, everybody's life kind of sucks. And nobody's getting what they want in life. But it gives you that sense of like, yeah, but that's what the film is going to be about. Everything turning around. And at the end of this thing, oh my gosh.
Nope.
When that song is playing just during that, I'm not going to give too many details away because this is a new enough film, but you do know in the post-workout reaction we do go into spoilers. So I won't say who is left alive at the end or what they're doing at the end, but at the end, when that song is playing over that scene, it just makes you go, yeah, everything is just screwed. Mm-hmm. Everything, yeah, fuck it, man. Just hands in the air, what can you do? This film started off as a quirky musical, and then in the last half hour, used the quirk and the charm that they had kind of that they had used to make you drop your defenses to come in here and just beat you senseless during the end of this film. Oh man, it was rough. But not in the, like, I didn't want to watch this way, but in the, this is what you're supposed to be feeling at this moment way. So I gotta give the movie credit on that. Mm-hmm. I know people out there are going to complain that feels uneven because of this, but I feel like that unevenness is done on purpose. They set you up so they can knock you down. Mm-hmm. And I have to admire that in this film. But yeah, during the first hour of this, I still did enjoy it. But I enjoyed it in that way that, like, back when I used to work for a film festival and we would actually judge films that came in, I enjoyed this in the same way that I enjoyed like a lot of high school student films that got submitted, because it was like, man, look at these kids out there trying. Look at them doing their best with what they got. And that's kind of what it feels like. I mean, heck, the villain of this film is the headmaster who goes mad with power. And towards the end of this, when there is the big musical number between Anna and the headmaster, it does kind of almost feel like a boss fight in a video game. It does kind of almost have that feeling to it of like, yeah, these are kids, they're going up against the headmaster. Yay, good for them. All right. Although if there is a film out there set in the United Kingdoms that is a musical about kids going up against the headmaster, Sing Street. Just throwing it out there one more time. That film was amazing. But yeah, that's it for Horror Comedy Week, unless you got anything else that you want to add to this.
No, I think that's it. Like, the ending was very, like, emotional and also depressing.
Yes. Not how I thought we'd be going out in Horror Comedy Week.
No.
Wow. So that is it for this. Remember, starting tomorrow, Viewer Request Week. That is our final full week of reviews for the post-freakout reaction. So if there's any movie out there that you want us to see and talk about for Viewer Request Week, then let us know that in the comments down below or on Twitter @Professor Thorgy. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Come back next time. And happy Halloween. Man, I'm starting to like...
You're starting to forget to say Happy Halloween.
And we're getting close to Halloween. It's literally... I opened up with that joke about how like everybody just shoves Halloween out of the way in the last 10 days when they start focusing on Christmas. And man, my brain's starting to do it.
Merry Christmas. Oh, no, I meant Happy Halloween.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.